the top 3 red flags that is causing denials in 2025. And if you're hoping to overcome these denials, it's best you know the top 3 so you can be prepared. Let's get started. All right, I'm attorney IP for those of you just seeing me for the first time. Like I said, in every episode I'm going to be sharing tips and teaching you how to present your case to USCIS to avoid denials. By the grace of God, we've been able to get lots of approvals on those difficult NOID. NOID stands for Notice of Intent to Deny. In fact, today we had one that just got approved. It was a complex I-751 rule of conditions where there was abuse and also divorce. So the question is, how do you waive that condition of being married to your spouse? Are we going to go the abuse route or the divorce route, right? So this client came to me, and through our legal strategies, we're able to get him approved today. It took literally less than a week. So that's exciting. And in this live, I'm going to be sharing with you some of those strategies, some insider tips to help you stay prepared and avoid any surprises during your green card interview. All right. So let me know in the comments if you already got a green card interview at this point. Everyone's getting called in 2025, really no exceptions. Even parents of U.S. citizens, before it's just proving that relationship is really all you needed and having the income, of course. But now they will call you for an interview to check on these red flags. That's the main thing. So let's get into the red flags. The first one is unlawful presence. If you have unlawful presence, meaning you overstayed your visa or maybe you entered without a visa, you're gonna most likely be denied at your interview, except you're able to overcome some of these red flags, and I'll talk about those towards the end. But unlawful presence can trigger denial, basically. All right, so there's this specific tool that we use to waive unlawful presence, and if you qualify, if you have the qualified relatives, you may be able to get your green card even though you've accrued some unlawful presence through entry without a visa or perhaps staying outside of your visa timeline. Okay, so if you're in that same situation right now, my contact is on the screen. You can reach out to me for help to figure out that complex situation so you can get your green card. Okay, another big red flag is misrepresentation, right? That's a very common one. A lot of people take that one for granted because they don't think that all the things that they said in their B1, B2 interview or application even matters, right? You applied 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you came to the US and you thought you could just get married and all of that doesn't matter. You're wrong. Okay, it's all a trick. USCIS is not going to tell you all the tricks, obviously, because they want to make it complex. So if you end up getting denied and have to do a reopen, you're spending lots of money doing that. And obviously that's in their benefit, right? So misrepresentation, saying one thing, for example, saying you're married when you're not so you can get approved, that could trigger a denial. So be careful about that in all your applications. And the way to really know that, excuse me, the way to even figure this out is to start with your FOIA search. I'm going to talk about that towards the end because in my Easy Green Card Success program, that's the first step to actually getting results. Because if you don't know your immigration history, you're going to fall into some traps of some misrepresentation you said years ago, and then you're not prepared. You don't have the right tools to actually waive that misrep, and then you're facing denial. Okay, so that's the number 2 red flag that most immigrants fail to address or identify in their immigration journey, and it can cost them big. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you're getting any value from this, and make sure you share them with your friends. If you're watching this right now, you know someone who's applying for their green card and they're in the process of waiting and they haven't quite gotten a decision yet, just share this with them, all right? So the final red flag I'm going to discuss in this video is the one that has to do with overstay. Okay, that's one that we don't really talk about, but overstay has suddenly become an issue in green card interviews, especially marriage-based green card. They will ask you, why did you stay? Because it's important that you know why you overstayed your initial visa. The overstay is quite different from unlawful presence, because unlawful presence is extended time, especially when you enter without a visa. You're really not even supposed to be here. So for that type of red flag, that's the number one, right? You really can't even adjust your status. So that's a whole different thing. If you're able to adjust your status, but you overstayed, even if it's just by a few days or weeks, something that was not important in the past, USCIS is now stricter, and they will focus on those gaps in your timeline. Okay, what was the reason? Were you sick or something happened, or maybe your spouse proposed to you or whatever? That's one of the things that's another red flag in 2025 that is causing people delays in their case. They may not deny you initially, but they will tell you they need to go do more investigation. And really, that's just because the rules are just becoming stricter right now, and immigrants just need to be on the lookout and be prepared through getting legal representation and knowing what your immigration history is. That's the first step, actually making sure that you're on the right track to an approval. All right, I hope this makes sense to you, those of you who are joining in. Again, I'm attorney IP. I've helped lots of couples, lots of clients turn around their complex cases into approvals. And I'm sure I can help you if you just give me a call. I'll be able to evaluate your case and see what's going on and provide you with some strategies that can work to get you out of that situation. All right, the final thing that can actually help in every of these red flags, if you find out that you somehow have unlawful presence, you have misrep, maybe even some criminal stuff, and you are not admissible as a permanent resident, you could most likely still waive all of that if you qualify for any humanitarian visa that is powerful enough to waive every inadmissibility and allow you to stay in the US and get your green card. So if you're not sure if you qualify for a humanitarian visa, check out some of my videos on my page in the comments. I'm going to share the links about T visas or a VAWA self-petition. This could help you get your green card in the US regardless of any of these red flags or violations. Okay, so if you've overstayed, if you've misrepresented, or if you have unlawful presence because you entered without a visa, reach out to me. I'm attorney IP. I'll be able to help you with your immigration case.